Hi, I am live and I am going to give you all a few minutes to join me. I'm also going to share this to make sure that everybody else is able to join me on tonight as well. Thank you guys that are coming on with me. Thank you all so much. As I always say, as you come on, if you will share this with others. All right, I am sharing it with the relationship movement page. So hopefully we will have some other people that will join us on our relationship movement page. Hey, Shirley, thank you guys that are joining live. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. I see you all coming on. Thank you all. Hey, Barbara. I did have a great Labor Day. Thank you. I hope you all had a great Labor Day as well. Teresa Brown Clark, hello. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you guys that are joining on. Carlencia, hello. Hey, sweetie. Thank you for joining. Thank you guys that are coming on. I appreciate it. And thank you guys that are sharing with other people. Hey, Timothy. Thank you for joining tonight. Thank you guys that are coming on and joining. I really appreciate it. Hey, Erica. Thank you guys. I see you all joining, and as you all come on, hey Courtney, thanks for joining. Give me a shout out. Hey Nicole, so I can know you guys are here. Let me know that you're here, and let me know that you all are sharing as well because I'm excited. Hey Ann, hey Belinda, look at you guys. Whoa, how you doing, Nino? Thank you guys that are joining. I appreciate it. Hi, Flakita, that we just became friends on Facebook and you are on tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining. I see you guys that are inviting others to join. Dana, good evening. Hello. Thank you guys that are coming on and joining me tonight. Corey, I will speak that truth tonight. Thank you for joining. Thank you guys that are sharing. Lawana, hello. Thank you for joining me tonight. Hey, I appreciate you guys speaking when you come on. It's good to know who is joining. Jocelyn, thank you. And thank you always for sharing. Thank you all that are always sharing my posts. I really appreciate it. So let me take that opportunity to tell you guys that follow me, that watch me. Hey, Terrence. Thank you guys that are sharing the word. Thank you guys that have been following me, that have been joining, that have been posting my stuff. I appreciate it. I know I hit topics that are real, raw, and relevant, but that's what I do. Sometimes the way to empower, I always say you can't fix what you won't face, and that's what I really do believe. Hey, Marvin, thank you for joining, and I'm just grateful that I'm seeing ladies and gentlemen that are joining tonight, that are sharing this. Like I said on my post, if you read it, if you know somebody that should be out there being great, tag them or share this. Hey, Nikita, thank you for joining. Tag them in this, share it on their page, because there are a lot of people that are walking around here with untapped potential, and we want to help each other be great. And so, hey, Latanya, thank you for joining. So we're praying tonight that we have no technical difficulties. Nobody gets knocked off. The power is going to be fine. Facebook is not going to act up. We're just going to have a great time tonight. I'm going to really share my heart about this. For those of you all that are just coming on, and I see you guys continually joining, thank you all that are joining, that are sharing as you come on. I see a lot of new faces, so I will reintroduce myself for those that don't know me. If you know me, give me a shout out. If you don't know me, nice to meet you. Hey, Lakeisha. Yeah, I have on my purpose shirt, and if you guys can see it, listen, it's the reason for which God created me. And that's what I'm trying to walk in, is in purpose. And that's really what I want to incite. Hey, Leah, I want to incite purpose. So tonight, well, this whole month, if you've been following my post, and please share as you come on, I've decided to talk about upgrade. A lot of times, hey Caleb, a lot of times we hide from our own greatness. We don't even like to say that. Hey Mike, thanks for joining. You know, we like to hide. If you saw my post earlier today, did you guys see this ridiculous mask that I had on? I was walking around and I did a full post with this mask on. It's because it's essential to what I'm talking about tonight. we walk around masquerading. Hey, Aquarius, thank you for the support. We walk around in masquerades. And so what I decided is that the month of September, not just that I'll be 40 on the 30th. I said it's the 40th on the 30th. I'm excited about that. But as I'm coming into this new chapter, I am realizing, hey, Angela, that it's time to step our game up. And a lot of people are so busy trying to be what they want to be that they forget that there are other people that they can empower to be great. And I'm not going to call myself the empowerment specialist and not come out here and empower the people. This is a subject I know all too well, the masquerade of mediocrity. A lot of times we sit around and pretend like we're not as good as we can be and that we are because of 4 things that I'm going to share with us tonight. So I hope you're watching, I hope you're sharing, and I hope you are ready because it's going to be real. Now, what keeps us a lot of times from maximizing our potential is our perception. It's how we see ourselves. Believe it or not, if you don't see yourself as great, if you don't see yourself as efficient, if you don't see yourself as having purpose, you will not walk in your authentic destiny. Do you know what keeps us a lot of times from seeing ourselves the right way? We're so busy looking at our flaws. Now, I'm going to really be talking to those of you all that know that you're gifted and know that you're talented. Most of us, and I'm going to start with me, most of us, if you are very talented, if there is a gift or something unique on the inside of you, most times you'll have noticed that from the time that you were small. Most of you all never quite fit in, and you can hit the love button if I'm coming down your street. Most of you all knew early on there was something different about you. There was something strange. There was something unique. If you had siblings like me, they told you were weird. If you had parents like mine, they told you that you were odd, or they would say, she's not average, she's a little different. Thank you for the love. Most of the people that I'm targeting tonight are those that grew up saying, is something wrong with me? Why don't I feel like everybody else feel? Why doesn't the things that everybody else is enjoying, why isn't that appealing to me? Why don't I fit in? Why aren't I like the normal kids? Why don't I want to do, hey Valencia, what everybody else is doing? You struggle when you are really gifted, when you are really talented. You struggle, and you knew early on that there was something a little bit different. When you were in school, maybe the teacher said you were odd. Maybe your parents said, there's something different about that child. My mom used to always say, she was always an odd child. She always was different. They would use words like different. She was eccentric. She was odd. And so that gives you a clue early on. Something is different about me. But here's what happens. Peculiar. Good word, Talisha. But here's what happens. What happens is we don't have enough people that know how to speak into that. Hey, Samantha. Hey, Sandra. We don't have people that really recognize what's really going on. Hey, Kawambi, thank you so much. And so what'll happen is if nobody is pouring the good part on the inside of us and telling us, listen, don't hide from that uniqueness. Don't shy away from that purpose. What we'll do is we'll start thinking something is wrong with us. Something is wrong with us. There's something wrong with us. Something's not quite right. What is it? And what we'll do, those of you all that have greatness on the inside of you, you'll start pulling it in. You'll start becoming a shell. People will think that you are just a people person, that you're around everybody, but on the inside, you're really, really an introvert. On the inside, you're really in a shell. You're really saying, I'll give you my talents, but I don't really want to give you who I really am. So I am speaking specifically tonight to those of you all that have greatness on the inside of you, that know that there is some potential on the inside of you that you have not tapped into yet. Hey, Sonia. Hey, Angel. Hey, Nicole. I am talking about you getting on the inside of you and saying, hey, sis, and saying, listen, I'm great. And nobody really is around me that's going to tell me that. So I'm going to, this leads me to my opening point. And I'm going to come right down that road where you are tonight. My opening point is when you are a person that houses unique and a special gift on the inside of you, life is going to be full of 3 or 4 big things. Number 1, and I'm going to break every one of them down. And when I come down your street, you can either say ouch, or you can say amen, or you can just share the video with somebody else that you know that you can relate to. Number 1, if you are a person that has greatness on the inside of you, 4 things you will come across: criticism, rejection, exploitation, and loneliness. You might better take your notepad and your pen out tonight, because I'm really going to be talking about some things. 4 things that you will recognize if there is greatness on the inside of you, if you were destined for a purpose that was bigger than you. There are 4 things that for all of your life you are going to have to deal with. Number 1, criticism. Number 2, rejection. Number 3, loneliness. Number 3 is exploitation. And number 4, the final one, is loneliness. Thank you for the ouches. Thank you for the amens. Now, I am going to start with the first one. The first one is criticism. Now, like I always say, you can't fix what you won't face. And so what happens is, a lot of times we'll walk around still hiding, still being mediocre, still trying to pretend like we're average when there is greatness on the inside of us. And so it's because of these 4 issues. The first one I'm going to deal with is criticism. Now, criticism is defined as the act of passing judgment or fault finding. Give me an amen if you're always a victim of criticism. If somebody always has something, you can hit the love button, something to say about you. They're criticizing how you wear your hair. They're criticizing what clothes you wear. They criticize what you decide to do with your own time. They just criticize. You are always a victim. Thank you for the love of criticism. So here's what happens. This is what happens when you have greatness on the inside of you. It pushes you to the forefront. What happens is, whether you want to get to the forefront or not, when there is greatness on the inside of you, sometimes greatness kind of pulls you by your throat and puts you on the forefront, even when you were trying to hide in the background. So you would think that if you are in a place where there is a need and you happen to have a solution and you show up and you're saying, here I am, I'm available, I got pushed to the forefront, you would think that people would be happy that you are showing up with the right gifts, the right skill sets, the right opportunities to do what needs to happen. Wrong, 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 wrong. A lot of times, people that have greatness on the inside of them have 3 main characteristics. Number 1, and you can hit the love button or say amen if I'm right. If you are one that houses greatness on the inside of you, the first thing is, you are probably skilled in more than one thing. Can I get a yes, an amen, a love on it? You are good at more than one thing. You could be a great writer, but you're also a great articulator, but you're also a great musician, but you're also a great speaker, but you're also a great artist. You have a lot, thanks for the love, you have a lot of different skill sets. Most times when you are a person that houses greatness. The second characteristic, usually people that have greatness on the inside of them, even if they're shy, they attract attention. You get attention whether you want it or not. You can be saying, I'm not even doing anything. Why are these people caring about what am I doing? It's because there is greatness that's housed on the inside of you. So most people that are there, you're skilled in more than one thing. Secondly, you get attention. No matter what you try to do, you're getting attention. Thirdly, you intimidate people. You're not trying to intimidate, and thank you, Dana, you already got there. You're not trying to intimidate people. You're not trying to make anybody feel bad. You're not trying to let anybody know that they're not doing as good a job as you. You just show up and do your thing. You just get out there and do what you're supposed to do. But for some reason, you tend to incite intimidation. Hey, Cynthia, in people. Fourth and finally, most people, and those of us, if you can't say amen, you better just say ouch. Those of us that have special gifts and talents on the inside of us have a major character flaw. Now, we don't like to admit that. A lot of times, our big character flaws are hidden. People can't really see them up front. And I almost think that sometimes that big character flaw is there to keep us humble, because I just said most of us that house these gifts and these talents are skilled in more than one thing. We attract attention. We incite intimidation, but we have character. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the ouches and the amens. We have a big character flaw. Some of our character flaw is we don't know how to talk to people. We can be great at doing these things, but we don't know how to communicate with folks. Sometimes our character flaw is we're intimidated by people. We have great things that we can do, but we let people intimidate us, and so we get shy and we get quiet and we get passive, and we let people just walk all over us and do us any kind of way. Sometimes our character flaw is we are procrastinators. We have great things that we can do, but we just find other things we can do, like play Bejeweled on our phone, or text, or go look at an app, just anything to keep us away from our greatness. Or our character flaw is we have so much potential, we don't know what to do with it. We're just doing everything. One day we want to be a writer. The next day we think we want to paint. The next day we trying to go bungee jumping. We don't know what we want to do because we have so many different skills. Character flaws. Most people, and the reason that I want you guys to say ouch and amen and show the love is because we are overcome by the word of our testimony. And sometimes we think it's just us. I'm the only one that deals with this. I'm the only one that goes through this. But I came out here to be a champion tonight and say, no, listen, this happens to people that house greatness on the inside of them. But so that we can upgrade, you can't fix what you won't face. So we are going to deal with these 4 big issues that keep us from being great. Now, the first one, and if you're writing or taking notes, or if you come back and watch the replay and share this, the first one is criticism. We have to learn how to handle criticism. I'll give you a real life example. I came from a very musical family. My family was musical. They could sing, they could play, they could do all of that. And so automatically, thanks Shannon, I'm glad this is helping you guys. They are very skilled, always been very skilled. And so as I grew up, of course, I knew how to sing, I knew how to write, I knew how to come up with songs, I knew how to teach, direct. All of that was in me, not because I tried, it was just already in me. So what would happen is, as I started dealing with other ministries and people, that gift would put me on the forefront, even when I had just said, listen, I've been singing 20 years, I've been directing 20 years, I've been writing, I don't want to do that anymore. That gift would make room for me, because that's what the Bible would say. But now what you guys will notice is anytime that you have a gift, or anytime there's greatness on the inside of you, it comes to the forefront. It makes room. It's going to do that because that's the word. No matter what position you're in, your gift is going to make room for you. However, because your gift make room for you, it puts you on the front line of battle. So what does that mean? That means everybody can see your character flaws. Everybody can see what's wrong. They don't just see what's right. They see your issues. They see the things that you haven't quite. I just said most of us that house talents and gifts and anointings and all of those things have really big character flaws. It's something on the inside of us that we flunk at no matter how hard we try. What'll happen is our gifts will push us to the forefront. So what happened with me is anytime I got with ministries, my gift would put me up front. What happened though, most of you can relate. If you are a person with a gift, it doesn't matter if it's at your job, it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship, it doesn't matter if you were in a ministry. Somebody was already there that was doing what you're doing now. Either they were there or they still are there. And here you come along, you do it differently. You have a different approach to it. You have a different way that you do it. And all of a sudden, there's conflict. Thank you guys for the love. All of a sudden, there's chaos. All of a sudden, it looks like there's a struggle. Here you are doing it your way, the way you know how to do. But here somebody else is that was there before or that had left, and people are stuck on, even if you're doing a better job, people can't get past, well, that's not how we used to do it, or that's not what they did, or they think you're in competition, even if you're doing better. We attract criticism. Greatness attracts criticism. So what happens is, if you are not careful, if you do not, because people can't handle when you're elevated quickly, but I just said that your gifts make room for you, and so your gifts will bring you to the front of the line. Most people that have been there for years, that have been at that job for years, that have been in that church for years, that have been doing that for real for a long time, they can't understand, how did you get to the forefront so quick? How did you get recognized so quick? Why do people have favor with you? What is it about you? Why are you doing it? I did the same thing, and people didn't respond to me like that. It is because that gift will attract criticism. What I will say to you is, if you are not careful, most times those of you all that have good gifts, you will defend other people, but you're not quick to defend yourself. You won't go out there and advocate for yourself. You won't fight for yourself. Because all you're thinking is, you know what, I do have character flaws, and I do have some things about me that I haven't gotten together. So I'll just let people talk about me. Thank you for the love. I told you, if you can't say ouch, say amen on the show. You'll say, you know what, they might be right. So let me stay away from that. Let me not do that well. If you're not careful, this is what will happen. So what tends to happen is we don't put up a resistance. We won't fight when we are criticized. We have to learn how to deal with criticism. If you get all in your feelings every time you're criticized, you won't be any good. I have something that I always say is, I have a lot of things that I don't get right, but one thing you will never do is catch me out of character. When you allow criticism to get you out of character, you kill your testimony. Every skill, every talent, everything that you bring to the table, when you allow criticism to get you in your feelings, what will happen is those same people will need you again, because it's your gift that's making room. But if you allow criticism to get you out of your mode, what's going to happen is you're going to appear unstable. And when you are unstable, you are no good to anybody. So the way that you can maximize your greatness and the way that you upgrade is if you better find yourself some level ground, and you better find a way not to let everybody move. You go home and cry. You go find your best friend and complain. But you do not let the people see you shift, because it kills your testimony. Now, this isn't for everybody. This is for those of you all out there trying to be great. This is for those of you out there that know it's time for an upgrade. This is for those of you out there that know that you have something special, that there is purpose on the inside of you. The first issue to overcome is criticism. Now, secondly, and this is a big one, the second thing is rejection. If you are a person that has greatness on the inside of you, you deal with rejection. Let me see the love on the screen and give me an ouch and an amen. Wow, I know. Listen, I'm coming down your street tonight. Rejection. Let me tell you about rejection. People reject what they don't know, what they can't do, and what they're unable to understand. I'm going to say that again. I just said that if there's greatness on the inside, and thank you guys for the love, if there is greatness on the inside of you, if you're called to a purpose, you will deal, number one, with criticism because you're on the front line, and secondly, you will deal with rejection. People reject what they don't know, what they can't do, or what they are unable to understand. A lot of times, you think it's you. You think that people have a personal vendetta against you. Some people can't get past you because they can recognize your purpose. So what happens is they don't know what it is that you're doing. They don't understand how it is that you're doing it. They can't duplicate it. You ever seen people that try to do what you do, but then you look at it and you can tell it's not authentic? People reject what they don't know, what they can't duplicate, and what they don't understand. So it will appear as though nobody liked you. It will appear as though everybody has a problem with you. As a matter of fact, most of the people you think have a problem with you don't even really know you personally. So there's no way that they have a problem with you. Their problem is with the gift on the inside of you that keeps pushing you into purpose and into the forefront. So what do we have to learn how to do? We have to learn how to deal with rejection. Understand a couple of things about rejection. Rejection is not all the time about you. Sometimes rejection is about the other person. Sometimes they're rejecting you because they're saying, I can't do that. I tried to be that person. I tried to get that position. I tried to be in that moment, and that didn't happen for me. So let me push away from that because I don't understand. Sometimes people will reject you because they cannot be you. They're just saying, listen, that's what I want and I can't. You ever dealt with somebody when you're getting something great and they can't even be around you as long as y'all were all in the pool of despair together? You couldn't find yourself for people everywhere around you. But as soon as your life started taking an upgrade, all of a sudden people don't want to really deal with you anymore. before and you thought they just didn't support you, a lot of times it's internal. They're saying, but I wanted that, but I tried to do that, but that's what I should be doing. And so they reject you because there's a grace on you that is allowing you to walk in your purpose. So what you have to figure out is, how do I deal with rejection and not take everybody personally that doesn't know how to embrace me? I just said people reject what they don't know, what they can't do, or what they're unable to understand. Now, I'm coming down your street. Thank you guys for showing the love. I hope you guys have pressed the share button, because you know somebody great that needs to hear this message. Number 3, if you are a person that houses gifts and talents and anointings and abilities, you deal with exploitation. People that take advantage of your gifts. Let me see the ouches, the amens, and the love. If you deal with exploitation, thank you guys for telling the truth. Exploitation is defined as selfish utilization. It's when people who don't even like you will use your gifts and your talents to progress their own self and still turn around and not support you at all. I'm coming down your road tonight. Exploitation. They'll see that you're not maximizing your potential. They'll see that you could be greater than you are. But in their heads, they're thinking, but if I push her to be great, she might not need me anymore. If I push him to be great, he might walk away and do something that doesn't include me. If I push them to be great, then how are they going to attend to the selfish things I need them to do? You know what? Sometimes when we are masquerading behind mediocrity, when we're pretending like we don't know the answer, when we're pretending like we don't know how to do it better, we're walking around with a mask like we're normal, we're walking around with a mask like we're just sitting here and we're just complacent, people will say, well, I need them to stay right there where they are. I don't want them to get great, because if they get great, I can't be great. And so you have to look around and say, who are my life leeches? Because there are somebody that came and brought you life, but there is somebody, and you have to look around and say, who am I around that every time I get from around them, I feel drained, I feel dragged, I feel like the life has been sucked out of me, I feel like I've been just outside working heavy labor. What is that? That is what's called, my friend, a life leech. And you better learn how to recognize them, because people will exploit you as long as you decide not to upgrade. When you masquerade your truthfulness, when you masquerade your greatness and your potential, and you sit out there and try to be like you're at this level, people will take advantage of it. They will say, I'm not going to push them, I'm not going to support her, I'm not going to get her out there. Yeah, I know people that could help her. Yeah, I have resources, but I don't want them to be great. That's why I am invoking you. I am inciting you tonight to step up and figure out what is the greatness on the inside of me and how do I maximize that, because I don't want to be exploited. Don't take advantage of my gift. Don't go out there and pay somebody you don't know to do something, but you'll get it from me for free. Don't go out there and pay somebody to give you advice, or pay somebody attention, or take them out to eat, to talk to you, and then I'm right here beside you every day and you won't even look my way, or you won't recommend me for nothing. We have to be mindful of life leeches. Am I coming down your road tonight? Thank you guys. Now, here is the next thing. And this is the final thing. This leads me to our biggest dilemma. Those of you all that are great, those of you all that have untapped greatness on the inside of you, those of you all that are walking around with these talents I've just talked about, we deal with criticism, we deal with rejection, we deal with exploitation, and here is the fourth and final thing. We deal with loneliness. Can I get an ouch, an amen, or a love on the screen? Most people, you got to remember, when you're constantly being criticized, when you're always being rejected, when you're always being exploited, your gifts are being exploited, you are a lonely person. People seem to think that you have a trunk full of friends and people coming all out your back pocket because they're looking at your gifts and they're not thinking that there are people that are always, see what happens, let me break it down a little bit. When you're always constantly being criticized, what will happen is you'll stay away and you'll shy away. When you're always being rejected by people, you'll learn how not to get in front of them. When you're always being exploited and you're good, you're a giver. You'll get people the shirt off your back. You'll show up in a time of crisis. You'll always support people. When you're that person that's always giving, you deal with loneliness because people criticize you. Again, because I said at the first point, because your gifts push you to the forefront. People will reject you because they reject what they don't know how to do, what they don't understand, or what they can't duplicate. People will exploit you because they don't want you to be greater than you are, so they'll take advantage of you on the level that you are, which leads to loneliness. So most people that need to be great deal with loneliness. So here's what we do. We get so afraid of being alone. We get so tired of being criticized. We have so many issues. Listen, I'm sick of being rejected. I'm sick of people taking advantage of my kindness for weakness. Hey, Jeff. Hey, fam, I love you too. I'm sick of always being talked about. I'm sick of people always having a problem with me. I'm sick of people that could do it themselves, but they're not doing it, but I'm trying to do it and they have a problem with me. I'm the one actually trying to help. I'm sick of being the person that is actually doing this for no personal gain, but just because I would like to help be better. Why is it that I am the person that is not trying to be seen, but I'm always intimidating people? I'm always being criticized. I'm always being rejected. People are always exploiting me. It has us winding up being lonely. And so what happens is when you are a person full of talents and gifts like that, you don't trust easily or quickly. You're always looking at people saying, what's their motive? No, what do they want? They trying to get something from me, and you spend a lot of time by yourself. Now, to the outside world, all they're looking at is, no, but their gifts, everybody loves them. Everybody wants them. Everybody's trying to get at them. They're trying to get at their gifts. They're trying to get at their money. They're trying to get at their talents. They're trying to get some freebies. They're trying to exploit. And so again, what we will do, great people that you are, we will masquerade behind mediocrity. What we will do, we will hide behind a mask. Being mediocre is defined as having moderate or ordinary quality. Now, I'm going to make you mad because I'm going to tell you, you guys that are on tonight are not ordinary and you are not average. You're not moderate. It also, mediocre is defined as not being good or bad. You're barely accurate. What happens a lot of times, our defense mechanism against being constantly criticized, against being rejected, against being exploited, and against being lonely is that we pretend like we aren't great. We masquerade around as mediocre. We try to act as though we don't know how to do things. So here's what we do. We pretend like we don't know how to do something. And if you can't say ouch again, say amen. And if you can't say amen, say ouch. Oh, I don't know how to do that. You know full well you know how to do it. You know how to do it better. But you'll say, y'all not going to put me out there to be criticized. We pretend we'll do it, but we won't do it great. We will barely do it. We will half do it. You know why? Because we don't want people to pull us in. No, we don't want the attention that comes with it. No, we don't. You're not going to create a dilemma for me. No, I don't want to get rejected. No, if y'all know I can do that great, y'all going to take advantage of me. So most people, thank you for saying ouch, that are great. Most people that really have greatness on the inside of them will have this defense mechanism. You will avoid getting in situations that's going to require your skill set. If you see something that look like you can help, I'm not participating in that. Well, why won't you help? Don't you know how to design? Don't you sing? Don't you know how to sew? Because we don't want to get ourselves in that situation. So what we will do, we will masquerade looking like fools with these masks on, like we don't know how to do the job, like we don't know. And here is the worst offense. Those of you all out there fake being great, you will hide behind somebody that's less qualified to do the job. I'm going to wait and let that sink in. You will know that somebody is halfway doing it. They're not doing it better. They don't really have a heart for it. And you'll just hide on behind them because you're masking your greatness. Thank you for the love and the honesty tonight. And you'll say, no, let them get the brunt of it. But here's what happens when you hide behind the mask of mediocrity. I said, and I did a thing earlier today, when I put this mask on, let me tell you about this mask. It's uncomfortable. It's itchy back here. It's hot. It doesn't go with my outfit. It doesn't make me look good. Mediocrity does not look good on you. Mediocrity is not cute on you. Mediocrity is going to make you wind up feeling aggravated. You're going to be discontent. You're going to be bored. You're going to be resentful. And you know what's going to happen? All of that's going to build up little by little. And one day you're going to just say, I quit. Y'all have it. I'm shutting down. This can happen in relationships. You're just sitting there faking it and you're being resentful. You're getting aggravated. You're getting discontent because you're hiding your greatness behind this mediocrity. And one day you're just going to blow and say, hey, that's it. I'm done. I'm sick of this. Y'all have it. Leave me alone. Thank you for the love. Thank you guys that are inviting other people to watch. And so we have to stop the cycle by getting rid of the masks. We've got to let the mask go. It's draining to always pretend. It's tiring to always try to dumb yourself down so that somebody else can feel like they're great. It's tiring. And I know that you don't want to be criticized. You don't want to be rejected. You don't want to be exploited, and you don't want to be lonely. But look at the life you're sentencing yourself to when you don't maximize your own greatness. Shakespeare said it best. To thine own self be true. You have to find a way to embrace your greatness. You got to own it. You got to say, listen, I'm just good at that. Listen, I just do that well. That's just my gift. That's just my purpose. Here's what will eventually happen if you do not own the greatness on the inside of you. Here's what's going to happen. The Bible speaks about this, and he says in a parable, you can't put new wine in old wineskins. If you keep trying to fit the you that's continually expanding and learning and developing and maturing and growing inside of your old self, one day you're going to burst emotionally. Thank you, Lakeisha, for joining. You're going to burst emotionally. You're going to burst spiritually. You're going to burst mentally. You're going to burst because you have all these new ideas. You have all these new approaches. You have all these great things, and you keep trying to squeeze it into what's comfortable for somebody else until one day you're going to explode. You are not helping anyone when you continue to deny your own potential. Stop being scary. Stop being fearful. Stop, because this is what this is really about. It's time to upgrade. Stop masquerading around here like you're mediocre when you know that you are not. The word of God says that you are a chosen generation. You are a royal priesthood. You are a peculiar people. You're supposed to stand out. You're supposed to be at the front line. You're supposed to be the one that they can come to. You're supposed to be the light that's shining in the darkness. The Bible talks about this. It says you're supposed to be the head and not the tail. You're supposed to be above only and not beneath. You're supposed to be the lender and not the borrower. So this month, I am going to activate the greatness on the inside of you because it is time to upgrade. I'm Elisa LaShell. Thank you guys for joining me as the empowerment specialist tonight. I hope you guys have learned something about upgrading. I hope you will follow me all this month because that is all that I am going to be talking about. If this segment helped you, do me a favor. Share it on your page. If you know somebody that knows they need to be great and could be greater, if you know somebody that's hating on you and you want to just put this message out there on your page, share this with others because it is time to upgrade. If you haven't joined me on social media, I'm on everything. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Periscope. Find me, join me, share this with friends because all this week, all this month, we're upgrading. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much for your support. Until next time, I'm Elisa LaShell.